Okay, Rishos the Rasha Akail, Rishos all the Lime Akail. Wanted to say something Shabbat Kol Nefesh. So, Zman Sefiras Aimer, we'll try to talk about something that Shaykhs to Sefiras Aimer. The Mishnah in Kedushin, we know it tells us Kol Mitzvah Sheish Zman Grama, Nashim Pturis, Mitzvah Sheish Shein Zman Grama, Nashim Archayim. The Gemara brings a Brisa, a list of mitzvahs on Daf Lam Gimel that are Zman Grama, Taner Rabbanon, Izel Mitzvah Sheish Zman Grama, Sukkah, Lulav, Shefer, Tzitzis, Tefillin, Reis Mitzvah Shalai Zman Grama, Zuzah, Maka, Aveda. Fine, so we know there's a cloud, the Gemara learns out from Shnei Knabal Kachad or Hekesh that Nashim are Pater Mitzvah Sheish Zman Grama. So, right, the Pashat, I think Pashat Taich, the simply Taich would be that a mitzvah that has a specific time to Mekayim the mitzvah. So, right, like Sukkah, Lulav, all these, each one the Torah gave a specific time of the year to Mekayim the mitzvah, Tefillin, a certain time of the day. Any mitzvah that has a specific time for the Kiyam mitzvah, there's a Ptur that we learn out that Nashim are Pater. So I want to go through a few Ma'amakamis and see if we come out with another Havana to this Ptur and gather all mitzvah station Margama. We'll see maybe a Machlek is Rishonim about this and where it's Negeya a few halachas. So in Simon Tov Pei Test, the Mechaber tells us the mitzvah of Sefiras Aimer. Mechaber Paskins, he tells us B'leil Sheni Achar Tfilas Arvis Maskil Mitzvah Aimer. He says Mitzvah Kol Echad Mitzvah Aimer. Each person has a chiyuv to be Sefer Aimer. So what's the halacha l'inyan Nashim or Nashim Chayim Sefiras Aimer? So Mishabura brings that from the Magen Avraham, other Achronim, Nashim Pturis Mitzvah Mitzvah Station Margrama. He says could be their Makabel Chayva, fine. But Meikar then says Mishabura b'shin the Magen Avraham that Nashim are Pater because Mitzvah Station Margrama. And K'pshuta, like we said, that Mitzvah Station Margrama means that there's it's a specific time to Mekayim the mitzvah. And Torah says Machar Shabbos Meim Aviach Mitzvah Aimer that Tez Zayin from the day we bring the Aimer we start counting. So Mela from Pesach till Shavuos is the specific time for this mitzvah. Mela it's a mitzvah Seish Zman Grama. That's first in the Rambam. The Rambam, Parak Zayin, Hilchas Tminim Musafin. Magen Avraham is really quoting the Rambam. The Rambam brings the mitzvah say Lisper Shabbos Shabbos Tmimos Shnemer Svatim Lechem Machas Shabbos. And then in Halach of Daled he says mitzvah zu al kol Yishmi Yisrael. We call Malcolm, calls Man, V'Nashim, P'turim, Sefiras Aimer. Nashim are Pater from Sefiras Aimer, Zok T'kas Mishnah, Mishal Mitzvah Station Margrami. So, that's the Magen Avraham quoting, the Rambam, and that's the Chinuch Paskins, the Mitzvah Shinvav, that Nashim are Pater, because Mitzvah Station Margrama. The Shaila is the Shita of the Ramban. The Ramban in the Gemara in Kedushin, on Daf Lamed Daled, the Ramban brings a list of things that the Gemara over there didn't mention. Of mitzvah seish zman grama, mitzvah shein zman grama, the Gemara didn't mention, and one of the things the Ramban says is that Sefiras Aimer is lav zman grama. Just quote the lashon of the Ramban. The Ramban says, he says the Gemara was Meshayir in mitzvah seish zman grama and ein zman grama. He says ein zman grama was Mayra covered bikurim. Chalok, he said, Adam, Rishagaz, and Sefiras Aimer, whatever, he brings the whole list. But the Ramban counts as one of the mitzvahs, She'ein Zman Grama, Sefiras Aimer, and happens to be put in Bikurim over there, we'll see, it might be a Shaila. So, the Shaila is in the Ramban, the Chayra, right, the mitzvah is to count from Pesach to Shavuos, Chayra, that should be a classic Zman Grama, what's Pshat the Ramban listed it under the Lao Zman Gramas. So, to be masber this sheet of the Ramban, the Achronim bring down Turei Even. The Turei Even in Megillah and Daf Chaf, Turei Even has a kasha. The Mishnah in the first parak of Bikurim tells us that Bikurim, Nashim are maybe Bikurim, and it says maybe in the Kairi because they can't say it's the Aretz, but Nashim bring Bikurim. So Turei Even's bothered the L'chayra Bikurim has as man. Bikurim is only brought from Atzaras, from Shavuos till Chanukah. Mishnah says you can bring it till Sukkot. We maybe B'kairei because it's man Simcha, but after Sukkot till Chanukah we maybe bein a kairi. But Kapanim, the Zman of Bikurim is from Atzeres until Chanukah. So, in fact, the Turei Even doesn't have why are Nashim Chayiv in Bikurim if the Chayra has a specific time that for the Kiyam HaMitzvah. So, the Turei Even over there says the Yisaid. He says that which we say there's a P'tur Mitzvah Station on Grama, it's Dafka if Mitzad, the Torah came and told us that these days are Shaykh for the Mitzvah, and these days are not Shaykh for the Mitzvah. The Torah says this man of the year, let's say, is Mechayiv you, let's say for Sukkot or for Matzah, whatever. So the Torah said that the Zman of Tezvav is Mechayiv you in these mitzvahs, and other Zman of the year are not Shaykh for these mitzvahs. Zakta Turei Even, when the Torah gave us the mitzvahs of Bikurim, that which you can only bring it after Shavuos, he says, is because from the dinim of the mitzvah is that you need the Shtei Alechem in order to be matir the Hakaras Bikurim. The Gemara learns out that it can only come after the Shtei Alechem. So the Torah never gave us certain Zman and said this Zman is the Mechayiv of mitzvah Bikurim and this Zman is not shaykh to the mitzvah Bikurim. It's just Midinei HaMitzvah can only be brought after the heter of the Shtei Alechem. So he says that's not called a Zman Grama. He's touching like the word Zman Grama. It has to be the Zman is being Mechayiv you in this mitzvah. This man is Mechayiv, that man is not Mechayiv you in the mitzvah. It's not just a mitzvah that has Mamela a specific time where you can Mechayiv it. It has to be that the Zman is being Mechayiv of the mitzvah. So Mamela, if something else is, he calls it Davar Acher is Goyim to be brought during this Zman, like the heter of the Shtei Alechem over here, that wouldn't be Nichlal in the P'tur of Zman Grama. They bring the lashon of Rashi in Kedushin and Afchavtes. When Rashi says Mitzvah Zman Grama, Rashi says Shazman Goyim Lashatavai. It has to be the Zman is being Goyim. The Mechayiv of the mitzvah is this man is the Mechayiv of the mitzvah. But if just Punk Midinei mitzvah to be done during this man, because let's say the Ma'aseh mitzvah can only be done now, or the Tzuras mitzvah or whatever, there is a different prat that says the Kiyum could only be done now. That's not part of Zman Grama. So Zak Turei Even, that's why Nashim are Chayiv mitzvah Bikurim. So the Achayim want to use this Turei Even to be masber the Pshan the Ramban. The Torah didn't say that there's a Zman of mitzvah Sfira. The Torah told us there's a mitzvah to count from the Hakrabas Karbanayim. So the Hakrabas Karbanayim, has a Zman to it, but the Torah never told us Sfira has specific Zman being Mechayiv. The Torah said the Ma'aseh mitzvah of Sfira is to count from the Hakrava. If the Hakrava was a different time of the year, it would have been that. But there's no Zman that says this Zman and that Zman, not that Zman, is Mechayiv you in Sfira. The gather is be safer from the Hakrabas Aimer.
So it's a no-Hakrabas Aimer, there's no mitzvahs deraisa.
Oh, very good. Zakta Chazon Yecheskel, that he wants to say even Bizman HaBayis, we'll see, it makes an afmin Bizman HaZeh, but he wants to say a Chiddush, even Bizman HaBayis, according to this Havana, there would be no mitzvah daraisa if there would be mikra that they didn't bring the carbon aimer, it would only be the rabbanon to do a sphere. Because the Atzim Tzuras HaMitzvah was be safer from the Hakrava. So l'chayra, it's very geshmak. First of all, that the Ramban we read before is kail mitzvah sheish lavs magam. The Gemara left out. He brings bikurim, and he brings Sefiras Aimer. It's the same Havana that he's going with. His dafka has to be this mechayiv of zman, not just that the mitzvah is mugbal to a specific zman for kiyam mitzvah. So I think also you can tell too the Turei Even another place in Chagiga after Zion he wants to say. I think he's going with the same Havana in Zman Grama. Taisus and Kedushin Daf Chavtes asked that why do we need a Josh that say Aisha is pater to be mal her son l'chayra it's mitzvah she's Zman Grama, it's only b'yam Shmini or it's only b'yam Taisus to the Makashas, different Rishayim with different Terutzim, but the Turei Even wants to say that mitzad the fact that it's only chay by day not by night. So he says that's dafka. The Gemara says that by tefillin. He says tefillin, the pshat is that when the zman of yom is over, so your mitzvah of tefillin is over. It's nigmar the mitzvah of tefillin. So the mechayiv was today's yom is mechayiv yom tefillin, and once today's yom is over, so that you don't have any more mitzvah of tefillin. Tomorrow there's new mechayiv of tefillin. So that's where we say that it's a zman is grama. The yom v'loy laila is mechayiv you in tefillin. But Zakta, the mitzvah of Milah, there's a mechayiv of Milah, and there's a din that you can't do it by Laila. But the Mila you're going to do the next day, if someone didn't do Mila, is the same Mechayiv of Mila before. It's not a new Chiv Mila. So I think he's going with the same Havana, that he's saying that's why Lazma Grama, that the Pshat is, that it has to be each specific Zman is another Mechayiv of the mitzvah. Not just punk that you have certain times, either times during the year or klape during different Zmanim of the day, that's Shaykh to Mekayim your mitzvah. So the Chayra Taisvis that asked the Kasha in Kedushin, Taisus held that he didn't go like this. He said, Taisus held that as long as there's a Hagbala, there's specific times to be able to Mekayim the mitzvah. That's the classic. That's the regular Havana of Zman Grama. And the Chayr is a good raya that sheet is a Taisus. The Achronim bring from the Taisus Menachos says that smicha of a carbon is a mitzvah say shezman grama but not because the Torah gave a specific zman for smicha, but because since take of the smicha shchita and shchita has to be by day, the mela it's called zman grama. Can't do it before day because it has to be right next to the shchita.
The Ramban also held that mitzvah of Omer is one mitzvah, not every day.
Yeah.
The same problem.
So what were we saying? So the Taisus in Menachos says that since out the din of take of the smicha shchita, so it's called zman grama. There's no mechayir. The Torah didn't give us a certain zman to do smicha b'chal. He's saying because mitzad the dinim of the mitzvah of smicha has to be next to the shchita, Mele is calling it zman grama. So he's before Taisus didn't go like this. He said Taisus held that as long as there's a Muslim that gets man to mekayim the mitzvah, it's already called zman grama. And okay, so it might be other rayas that sheets Taisus, but we'll do that for now. So the Chinuch and the Rambam, the Pater, they say it's mitzvah she's zman grama, right? That's what we said that the Magen Avram was quoting the Rambam, the Pater, it's mitzvah zman grama. So Yesh Lain isn't before that they argued and held like Taisus that calls man there's a specific time for the Kiyam mitzvah. It's called zman grama, even if it's not the zman, but it's me mechayev the dini mitzvah have a zman, or not. So in the das of the chinuch, it's actually interesting. The chinuch and mitzvah tzadi aleph by the mitzvah of bikurim, the chinuch paskins that noshim are pater from bikurim. So the Mishnah said that noshim are chayav from bikurim. The chinuch paskins that noshim are pater from bikurim. And Shvida, he says meheges bizman abayis bizcharim. Fine, he says dafka bizcharim, and the Mechas Chinuch over there wants to say that since this is man from Atzeres to Chanukah, the Chinuch held that noshim are pater because mitzvah zman grama. So Lahadya, the Chinuch wasn't going with this Havan and Turi Havan, and he held it doesn't matter that Shtei Alecham's matter Torah didn't give us specific zman to mechayev. That itself, that it's mugbal, it's kiyam hamitzvah of havas bikurim to a specific zman, makes it zman grama. Now, so even if the mitzvah is the tourist mitzvah is to count from the carbonimer, which is mashma in the Chinuch shita, because the Chinuch by Sefiras says it was man azeh, it's only the Rabbanon because we don't have a carbonimer. So in me and Taka, the mitzvah was totally in the carbonimer and not carbonimer. Afilu it's called zman grama because it has specific zman for the kiyam mitzvah. He says so. Chasana says it could be learned the Mishnah was the Rabbanon, but in Achanami Daraisa he argued and said that it's a mitzvah station zman grama. Now in the Rambam the Achayim want to say that in the Rambam, it could be that the Rambam is masking maybe to the Ikar Yisai. That Lu Yehei, you have a mitzvah like Bikurim, that the Torah didn't really give us man, it's Mechayv the mitzvah, just Memela, you have to Mekayim it during certain man, maybe in the Chanami it would be Lauz Man Grama. Now, Ross, the Rambam over there is that Sfira Bizman Azeh is Daraisa. Sfira, the Rambam says mitzvah say, even Mizan Hazeh, that the Sefiras is Daraisa. So it's Mavur that the Rambam didn't learn that it's telling the Hakravas Aimer Bail. The Rambam learned that the Torah said, Macharas HaShabbos Miyayim Aviachem was just a simon for which day. But Ba'atzim the Torah was giving you a Zman. Zman Tez Zayin is the time to be safer till Shavuos. But it wasn't Tali B'chlal in that Karban Karban. So could be he's masking Ba'alma to this he said in the Ramban. Just happens to be that he holds that he learned that Sefira is the Raisa. Because Terataki gave it a Zman. Right? So the Shaila is that we said Nafkamina would be like we said before that Bizman Abayis, if they didn't bring the Aimer, if the Rambam still have a regular mitzvah deraisa, according to Ramban, could be some Achron want to say would be the Rabbanah. We'll see soon that maybe it's not too pashut, even in the Havana it's telling the Aimer. But the Shaila, the kasha is that if you go like this, that the Rambam held that when the Torah said Mirachas HaShabbos, it was just like a siman ba'alma on which day to start, and that was the zman to start being served for the Aimer. The Rambam is like a little shvar. The Rambam brings the mitzvah of Sefiras Aimer and Hilchas Tmidin Musafim. So, like we said before, the Rambam in Parak Zayin, Hilchas Tmidin Musafim brings this mitzvah of Karban Aimer. So the Rambam learned the Torah was saying is siman ba'alma. That's it's nothing to do with the Karban Aimer. It's just to be safer from Tez Zayin, and Torah gave a siman that Machras HaShabbos, which day Miyayim Aviyachem. So it's a little interesting that the Rambam brought this mitzvah in Hilchas Tmidin Musafim. So there's another mahalach over here in the Rambam. Why the Rambam holds it's there's a mitzvah of Zman Hazeh D'Oraisa, even if maybe he didn't hold it was just a siman Rambam. They bring down in the Stanzach from the Biskrav and Imre Nachis from B'Shem Rav Chaim. Rav Chaim had he asked in the Rambam that l'chayra the Gemara Menachis says pretty clearly that Sefiras Aimer is only Zeichel and Mikdash. Right? The Gemara says in Daf Samach Vav that Amir Mani Yaimi V'Loi Shvui Amar Zeichel and Mikdash. Count the days, not the weeks. Fine, there's different sheets in the Gemara, but he said it was Zeichel and Mikdash. So how could the Rambam Paskin that was Zman Hazeh D'Oraisa? It sounds like a Perish Gemara that says it's just Zeichel and Mikdash. So Rav Chaim he wants to know that let's say they didn't bring the Karban Aimer. He's like Matmiya, like Zeichel and Mikdash because they didn't bring the Karban Aimer. Like it's totally there's a mitzvah to be safer till Shavuos. He has like a shvar that should be tali in the Hakrav of the Aimer before did they bring the Karban. So Rav Chaim wants to say that that which we're titling the Aimer doesn't mean on the Ma'aseh Hakrav of the Aimer. He wants to say that the mitzvah is to account from the din of Aimer, from the mitzvah of the Aimer. When you have the mitzvah of the Aimer, so then you're safer from then from the mitzvah of the Aimer, the Zman mitzvah, till Shavuos. But Avad, it doesn't have to be that they brought it b'payah. So Mela says Rav Chaim is that since it's just whether it's the din of the Aimer, it's not telling in the Ma'aseh Hakrava. So he says the Ram Shita is that Kitcher Yishai, Kitcher Yishai, Kitcher Yishai. So it's Shaykh even Zman Hazeh, you have a din Hakrava Aimer. So Mela the Ram held even Zman Hazeh can be the Araisa. Now most Yishayim hold that it's like Kitcher Yishai. Because the Mela without a din Hakrava Aimer there's no mitzvah daraisa. So Zakter Chaim that the Gemara Menachos, which is Mavur Shas Zeichel and Mikdash, it's only the Rabbanon. The Gemara was going there like Kishlas Lavi. It was the only one that was like Kishlas Lavi. Mela Shas Zeichel and Mikdash. But the Rambam passing Kishlas Lavi and Mela you can have even Bizman Hazeh D'Oraisa. So if them that he's saying that's telling in the din Hakrava Aimer. So the Chayra. So we don't know if the Rambam is masking to Yisayid, could be smashma that he's not masking to Yisayid in the Ramban, because he's saying tak it's totally in the din of the Aimer, and the Rambam is calling it Bizman Hazeh. It's Mr. Seish's man Grama. So just one interesting nafkamina I think from these two tzadim and the Rishayim, maybe the Achrayim is the Magen Avram in Tav Chavav in Hilchas Kiddush Levana, he says Nashim are pater in Kiddush Levana. So he said because Mr. Seish is my grandma, right? It's only Bizman Kiddush Levana. The Chachma Shleima and Shulchan Aruch over there, he's matmiya. He's mamash no chap. You can call this man grandma. He says the mitzvah is to mivarach on the Levana bechidusha. Chidusha is only a certain time of the month. The Torah didn't say this man is masugol for Kiddush Levana, this man is Mechai Kiddush Levana. The Torah said the Chavs Shal Mitzvah is to Mivarach on the Kiddush Levana. And the Kiddush Levana can only be found, it's only available at certain times. But it's not mitzvah that there's certain Zmanim Torah said, yes, certain Zmanim Torah said are not Mechayiv in the mitzvah. So, we see already in the Paiskin that the Chacham Shlomo was understanding with this Havana, the Turiyeva and other Achrayim, the Vechaskel, also says the Pshan the Ramban. And he was matmiyah that he says Avad Anoshim should be Chayiv, heck he called Zman Grama. So, Magen Avram is Takla Shitase, that Magen Avram over here Paskin, by Sefiras Aimer. Passing like these Rishayim that said that as long as it's specific time for the Kiyam Mitzvah, he didn't pass like the Ramban. The Magen Avraham Shitasi over there held it doesn't matter Taka that the Chavs Shal Mitzvah is only Shaykh on the Levana Bechidusha. At the end of the day, there's certain Zman of the Chaydesh where you can Mekayim your Mitzvah. So as long as the Kiyam Mitzvah is Mugul Zman, it's called Zman Groma. So we just wanted to end off with a little like a short machshava, like why Taka was like interested, like bothering me a little bit, like the Torah. That's when the Rambam says, the Rambam and the Chinuch, they tell us that the mitzvah of Sefiras Aimer is to show our excitement or say for every single day the Yom of Kabbalah HaTorah. So what's the pshat? The Torah like punk is the Torah that like fear of Chaim, it's on the din, and the other Achrayim maybe it's telling Hakrava. Like what shaykh is the Karban Aimer to our Sefira towards Matan Torah? So I saw the Shiv Mishras of Aaron Color. He tells like what's the shaykhis, and I think it starts with the Chinuch. The Chinuch in Mitzvah Shin Beis tells us that the Indian of our Karban Aimer is that we take the ratios of our Tuah and we're makar of it, and only then we're nana from the Tuah. To show that we're makar that all this Tuah is from the Baruch Shalom's chesed with us, that he every single year is mechadish the Tuah, and he gives us the parnasa from the field, he gives us all of our chiyas. And it's Indian of Hakaras HaTayv that first, before we touch our Tuah, first we bring the Karban Aimer. So the Ryan doesn't bring this chinuch, but the chinuch says a tremendous thing. He says when we're coming, we're makar tayv, and bring this carbon, and we say we realize it's from the Rebbeinu Shalom. He says it makes us ru'uyin to mekabel his bracha. He says when we show that we appreciate what the Rebbeinu Shalom is doing for us, it makes us a klei kibul for the mekabel bracha. So the Rebbeinu Shalom wants to be mashpia bracha on us, but just that tonight we have to appreciate what he's giving us. When we say that we're makar tayv by bringing the rashis and saying we're makar, this is all from you, then it makes us right to Mekabel's bracha. So in Mishras Aran he says that with this is the Hakdama for Kabbalah HaTorah. The Hakdama is Umakar Tayv of realizing what the Tayv the Rebbeinu gives us, and he says eventually we'll come to Makar Tayv in the greatest Tayv that we have, that we're able to Mekayim the Ritzayna, that we're Nivchar, that he was Lekach Tayv Nasati Lachem. He gave us a Torah which was a Lekach Tayv, and that was the greatest Tayva, and we were the ones to Mekayim his mitzvahs. And with this you said we should start off. It's an amazing thing. The Rebbeinu Shalom gave us a mitzvah to be makar tayv, to be able to be mekabel his bracha. So the Rebbeinu Shalom wants us to be right to mekabel the bracha. We just have to be makar. So the Indian of counting from the Aimer is Sharon says so that we start off with this hakaras hatayv, and we come eventually if we ingrain in ourselves this midah that we're makar tayv for everything, and really it helps us be zeichet and mekabel the Kabbalah HaTorah b'emes and the shafa that Matan Torah gives us.